Ethan is one of those truly inspiring guys, and Survivor is not the only thing that he has conquered.
That mentality was there. It was a do or die game. We're all survivors on this earth. It's not about how or when we leave this world.
It's what we do to make the most of each day and each crisis while we're here.
My definition of survivor is a little bit different in the sense that I feel surviving is you're grasping at straws. You're just trying to make it through. You're at the bottom of something. On the flip side, like when you're thriving, we always talk about surviving and thriving. So once you're on the other side of surviving, then you're thriving. So the second anyone is going through a challenge, a health challenge, a crisis, I consider you a survivor. And then it's after that moment where then you can start working your way to becoming a thriver. But that in between surviving and thriving, that can be a huge gap. And there needs to be sometimes a lot of work that has to be done in that little gap to get you from one to the next. For me personally, it took me a long time to become a survivor into kind of a situation in my life where I feel I'm thriving. One of the most effective, I guess, mindsets that helped me get through these challenges was the concept of acceptance. It sounds really simple and easy, but it wasn't that easy. I mean, when they told me I had cancer, like, I didn't want to accept the fact that there was this bug inside my body trying to kill me, but I had to, in order to get on to the next phase, which was to be able to map out how I'd like to survive after I accept, these next 6, 12, 18 months of my life. And what's going on in the world right now, it's, as we've all heard, it's uncertainty, this breeds anxiety. And one of the best ways to control something that you aren't able to control is acceptance. I would literally write down my what if scenario. Let's pretend, what if I get COVID? All right. I will write down exactly, I'm going to call my mom, I'm going to go to the hospital, I'm going to isolate myself, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. So then next time that what if scenario gets in my head, I can say, I know exactly what I'm going to do. It's right here on this piece of paper. I filed it away. And then if you're the type of person like me who's like consumed sometimes with these what if scenarios, and the anxiety would cause me to not live my life because I was obsessing over these situations in the future that I couldn't control. Now all of a sudden they come into my brain. I'm like, boom, I already know exactly what I'm going to do. It's right here, right now. And now I can move on with the rest of my day and free up my mind, free up my day in front of me. Every crisis moment in my life, I've tried to use that moment to do something good in the world. When I was 14 years old, cancer came into my home and it took my father away from me. And so growing up, my only connection to cancer was through my dad. So to me, cancer equaled death. And so at an early age, I relied on the people around me. All I wanted to do was sit in my room and not come out. I was 14 years old. And, but it was my rabbi, it was my Maccabee teammates, it was my friends from Hebrew school, my family. They're the ones that reached out and embraced me. They're the ones that reinforced my values, my Jewish values, in a time when I felt completely alone. So at an early age, I realized the value of community. That idea of taking action and using crisis moments and leaning on the community in times of need has opened doors for me. I saw HIV and AIDS in Africa, started grassroots soccer. I got cancer. And this is where it really made sense for me, because here I am in the middle of my own nightmare, struggling to stay alive. And I felt, okay, if I can use the details of my life to help other people out there, then I'm doing something okay. I recently learned that in Hebrew, the word for a challenge and the word for a miracle share the same root word, which is nes. And that's because when life throws you challenges, it brings out miraculous things in us.